WICR. Now, back to AB Sports Conversation with Anthony Carlo and Benzino the Hero.
We're back at AB Sports Conversation, WICR Studios. Anthony, last night on ESPN,
While I was studying.
while Anthony was studying, I hit him up early. I'm like, yo, Ant, there's a not E60, a 30 for 30 ESPN documentary film about
Right.
sports.
Right.
And on this particular documentary was about New York Knicks basketball. Right? That's how one of my homies, Chris, says it. Yeah. New York Knicks basketball.
New York Knicks basketball.
He tries to mock me, but he tries to.
He tries to, but nobody
No.
can mock
Nah.
Benzino.
But yes, this 30 for 30 documentary was about New York Knicks basketball, but especially about the championship years at Madison Square Garden. Right? So they have all the players there during the Michael Rappaport was the director,
Okay.
native New Yorker. His voice is very New York-y. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah, very New Yorkish.
Very yeah, and whatever. Well, the documentary they had interviews from Willis Reed,
Wow.
Jerry Lucas, Walt Frazier,
Wow.
Earl the Pearl,
Earl of Pearl.
Starwood, the senator, not the senator. You know who ran for presidency? That was on this championship team. Do you know by any chance?
Who ran for presidency?
Tried to run for presidency?
No, actually, no.
Bill Bradley.
Bill Bradley.
Bill Bradley.
Bill Bradley. Too bad Willis Reed wasn't available for this one.
No, but this man, Bill Bradley, went to Princeton to play ball. Right. Back in the day, the NIT tournament was the big tournament,
Right.
and the holiday games at the Garden.
Right.
That was more popular than the Knicks games. They actually kicked the Knicks out to the Armory,
Really?
where now the track is.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, they used to kick the Knicks out.
Professional sports was kicked out of the arena for the NIT.
But back in this time, the Knicks came around in the '60s. Back in this time, college was the main thing.
right.
So I don't
And
blame
it
them.
is to a lot of people today still.
Still, and during Madison Square Garden, the Mecca.
The Mecca.
The Mecca.
The Knicks better defend that Mecca this
They will.
year.
They will. Don't worry. We'll talk about that next week. They will. The Big Apple Circus showed in the Garden. So they got kicked out. The Knicks got kicked out for the circus sometimes as well.
The Knicks got kicked out for the NIT's understandable. But the Big Apple Circus?
The Big Apple Circus.
Wow. Where did they play when that was going on?
I don't think they played.
They just canceled the game.
They're not canceled, but it was during during the off season. But
Yeah.
attendance at the circus would be more prevalent than at a New York Knicks basketball game in Madison Square Garden. Right? Crazy, I know. But now let's get into this championship run.
Championship run.
That was entailed.
Yes.
Red Holtzman came in to coach over McGuire.
Right.
So he brought an attitude that was, guys, I really don't care about offense, but play your ass off on defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was his motto.
Right.
And players said, all right, if we play defense, we get to do what we want on offense.
Right.
So players bought into that. In the year, Walt Frazier was drafted.
Right.
So he got hot because of the tournament game, the NIT game.
Right.
So he got hot, so Knicks noticed that, and he got drafted.
Right.
History after that, you know the rest.
We know the rest.
We know the rest
of the story.
Okay.
Freshest man in the face of the NBA.
Dick Barnett,
A
first overall pick, I believe as well, was now acquired
Right.
and is placed on this Knicks team.
Right.
Phil Jackson, now president of basketball operation, was drafted to the Knicks, as we all know.
Phil Jackson
and Willis Reed.
What a star-studded lineup.
Exactly. We're still not finished with the
We're
stars.
still not finished.
Willis Reed.
Only.
You know about Willis Reed.
I mean, speechless.
Willis Reed.
Willis Reed, mammoth man, number one.
Most definitely.
Mammoth.
Defensive presence, big man. And then Dave DeBusschere.
Dave DeBusschere.
I
remember good old Dave DeBusschere.
You remember?
Me and Dave go back.
You go back?
I know about Dave DeBusschere, yeah.
But you know Richie Gary, but that's a whole nother thing.
Richie Guerin, I personally
That's
know
your boy.
Richie Guerin.
That's your boy. So Dave
Shout out
DeBusschere was, shout out to Richie Gary.
Yeah.
Come on, say it.
Shout out to Iona men's basketball.
Oh,
and
most
Richie
definitely,
Garrett,
most
yeah.
definitely. Dave DeBusschere was acquired from the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
And he's on the squad. Also, the Minutemen and the New York Knicks. That was the bench players. That was the role players. The 6, 7, 8 players on the squad.
Right.
That consists of Kazi Russell. Yeah, Kazi Russell, Stallworth, and Reardon.
Yeah. It wasn't just a 6th man. There was a 6th, 7th, and 8th man.
Yeah, they called each other the Minutemen.
The Minutemen.
So they get minutes.
They got minutes.
And they do their thing.
Now, isn't that wonderful when you see a team that operates so succinctly together?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that everybody did their job right.
And especially when Phil Jackson went down, these Minutemen played up to par.
Right.
So, because after that, Phil Jackson went down, they was only down for 9 players for the whole year.
Right.
And they had to do what they had to do to win games.
Right.
And we're talking about Bill Russell on the Celtics.
Yeah.
You know, Lou Alcindor. You know who Lou Alcindor is?
Mm-hmm.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
So they had to go up against opponents like that to win titles.
Yeah.
Right?
And they did it.
And they did
They
it.
did it.
And they did it. It was a wonderful
It was
time
a
in the
happy
Garden.
time for.
It still is a happy
Too
time.
bad you weren't alive for this
Yo,
time.
if I was
You
alive,
would've
that
been-
would be crazy.
Ben would have been
Crazy.
every Facebook status.
Crazy.
We'd be seeing one every minute. New York Knicks basketball.
Well, I still do regardless. You know me.
Biggest Knicks fan in the world, Benzino.
Also, during the '73 season, Jerry Lucas was acquired to the team, and the point guard from the Baltimore Bullets, Earl the Pearl Monroe, was now a New York Knick, which Walt Clyde Frazier didn't like. A lot of players didn't like that.
Right.
You know, this dude was a nice point guard in the NBA, and Walt said he was going up against Earl the Pearl Monroe was one of the toughest things he had to do.
Right.
And now being on the team, Walt doesn't have to deal with that no more.
Yeah.
Because they got the enemy.
Right. Right.
So that's what they're saying. They got the enemy. How is this gonna work? But it worked out in the championship.
Huh. What an educating. What everybody's enjoying the education right now from Benzino the Hero on his viewing of the 30 for 30 on ESPN of the Garden of Eden last night.
They should have interviewed me.
They should have. Ben, you would have been able to answer. We got to have one of our segments coming up on put your team where your mouth
Yep.
is, and we got to quiz each other on the Yankees and the Knicks coming up. I think, unfortunately, our well has run dry on tonight's episode. We have pushed the limits. As always, we had a nice episode today.
Yes.
Nice, long, lengthy, informational, hopefully enjoyable episode.
Mm-hmm.
But we will be back next week on Wednesday at our normal
Tuesday.
time.
Tuesday. We
Tuesday.
gotta talk about this WICR marathon
But
or radiothon.
the radiothon is Tuesday.
Yeah, but the station closed Wednesday. We only get one show a week.
Are the stations closed
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Wednesday?
yeah.
What happened Wednesday?
It's just a day off for the hard work.
Oh, right. You're right.
Yeah, so AB Conversation will be on Tuesday next week.
Exactly. New schedule. My apologies. Tuesdays, so be a part of that radiothon. Listen up because we're going to have show after show after show. And make sure you tune into our slot of AB Conversation. It's like the all-star game of radio shows.
Yeah, man.
So we'll see you next Tuesday. We'll try to update you on Benzino_ the Hero on Twitter on what time we're going on.
Yes.
How about that? Try to get on Facebook maybe too. But anyway, that's all I have to say.
Hey, man, they free Meek Mill, so everything's good.
What happened?
They freed the rapper from jail. He's out of jail now.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah, Meek Mill.
You good with shoutouts?
Yeah, free Meek Mill, which they did. I'm good.
Okay, we're good.
Free Meek Millie.
We're good. We know you're good. We'll see you next week, everybody.
AB Conversation. We'll be back. Tuesday. He out here. Jiggity with score.